What's up, everybody? Kiesel has released a plugin for guitar players. I love it. It's called HyperRig Kiesel. And two things. It sounds good. It's easy to use. Let's see what's going on in it. In the demo track you hopefully just heard, all the guitars are made with the HyperRig Kiesel. So without further ado, let's check it out. I'm going to use the DIs from the demo. That way I can, crank the knobs and have that play in the background at the same time. So first things first, we have three different kinds of amps here. We have Maple, that is a clean amp. We have Carbon, that to me sounds like an American high gain amp. We have Infusion, that to me sounds like a British mid gain to high gain amp. So since I'm on a heavy metal riff, just the DI sounds like this. Sounds like a guitar straight into the interface, and that's exactly what it is. Let's turn it on. Let's check out the Carbon first. All right, that was Carbon. Let's check out Infusion. It sounds like this, same riff. Definitely mid-rangier, which is really cool because when you start stacking guitars on top of each other, you want different kind of tones and vibes. Down here we have something really useful, and these are the different cabinets you can use, and all cabs work with all amps. We'll get to the Maple amp, the clean amp, a little bit later. So I want to show you these because this is really awesome. And when I mixed my track, I did a ton of the mixing in the plugin because I have so many options here. I'll just click through the different cabs, and same thing here. We have Maple, we have Carbon, we have Infusion, and I think that means your tone smells of chamomile and lavender a little bit. But let's listen to it. So I'm going to keep this on the Carbon, everything at noon, and then I'll just swap through the different cabinets. That's no cab at all. If you've ever multi-tracked guitars, this is gold because you can just like set a tone you like, riff, record everything, and then you have infinite possibilities to just like tweak the tone afterwards. I think this one sounded really good. All right, so next thing they thought about, thank you guys, Polychrome and Kiesel. We have resonance, air, room, and then we have a high pass and low pass. And all this stuff you would normally put in a plugin later, but now you can do it in the plugin. Hell yeah. Let me tweak some knobs. Let's take it from where the riffing happens. That's really how much woof you have in the cabinet. That sounds like every rehearsal space cab I've ever played through. If you're sitting at home in the bedroom, turn some room on, you get a little more stereo width. Ah, so nice. This high pass, low pass thing I used a ton when I had like my big stacks, tone stacks in my demo. And I could just like, instead of having to tweak and Pro Q, whatever, I can just move around a few knobs on the cabinet. So this is where I spend my most time tone shaping. And again, I have 4 rhythm guitars recorded. I can just sit and like these 2 combinations. That's really good and awesome. Love it. All right, you have a clean part here. It sounds like this. I'm going to turn some knobs. You guys can listen. I already feel like I want to pull a whole bunch of bass out of this. It's very woofy. So here's something I would use a lot. I love over saturated, or like if you drive a clean amp really hard, you get that power amp saturation. It doesn't sound like distortion, but it's a fat kind of clean sound. So when I record it, I use this quite a bit. You gotta just match it with the master so it doesn't get too loud. That bright really adds some nice shimmer. And of course, match this with any of the cabs to your heart's content. So many options. The good thing is all of them sound great, so you never get lost. Let's take a look at the pedals since we're on a clean sound. Compressor, guess what that does? Boost. You probably would put this in front of a distorted amp for like a lead tone, something like that. But I found that not only were the distorted amps so gainy, there was so much gain, I also felt they were really responsive, very light to play. So I ended up not using any of that. Normally I would put like a, some kind of green pedal in front of an amp for that extra sizzle, but I didn't really feel like I needed it. But options here if you need it. Same with the drive, it just overdrives the amps like insane amounts. Let's try something. Yeah, it's not the amp for it. Ooh, so lush. I'm gonna put together like a clean tone that I would like. I'm gonna turn these off for now, come back to them in a little bit. Here we have the delay and the reverb. And the people over at Polychrome and Kiesel have been clever again, because they put some really good parameters. Reverb sounds like this. So cool things we have: modulation, diffusion, pre-delay, also very smart. Like if you're a studio cat, you're gonna love all this stuff. Also high pass, very smart, and a low pass, very smart. Check out the delay. That's a good trick if you want like that kind of analog delay sound. You're just gonna pull the high pass and low pass, so it's a pretty narrow thing that gets repeated, because that's more what the old tape emulation would do. Ooh, that's what dreams are made of. Also, we have a couple of really good like mastering EQs. If you really want to go in and cut very specific frequencies or boost very specific frequencies, I did this a little bit in the mastering or in the in the mixing stage. I was mostly like just finding that little whistling EQ note and just like pulling a little bit of that out. It's here if you need it. Not good stuff. You have tuner, obviously. You can mute too, so you don't have to hear yourself go bing, bong. I should probably unmute that one. We have MIDI capabilities. If you're a MIDI guy, and I know a lot of you Genty Tech dudes love the MIDI stuff. I guess the wide, that one's cool too. That would literally just like force the tone into stereo. If that's your vibe. Gate works really well. It's not too aggressive. Also, this hypertune is pretty cool because you can pitch your tone up and down. Not always useful, but like if you have a riff, like here's things you can do. You can pitch your bass up and just blend that in to make your riff sound fat, or pitch your guitar down, put it in center. Just make that sound fat. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We have great time effects, reverb, delay. We got the studio level EQs. You have a ton of options on switching tones, switcher cabs. You have the pedals that you need. You have 3 different kinds of amps. And if you listen to my demo, all those guitars were made with the HyperRig Kiesel. I love it. I'm going to use this a lot, but that's it. That gives you a pretty good rundown of what's going on in this thing. So hey, download it. Let me know how you like it and how you use it. Also, I will post all my presets on my website, so you can download them for free, johnholt.com. Yeah, I'll put a link in the info box too. But yeah, check it out. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.